Glenn Keela talked for 3 hours telling the kids of Waianae all about their coast. We'd get in the van, we'd stop at places. He was saying to them, listen to the grass. Can you hear the voices of your ancestors? And 80 teenagers in Waianae. And we did. We stopped all along that coast. It was incredible. He just kept pumping it out, and the kids got more and more excited. We finally got to the end of the tour, which is a place called Pokai Bay. If you go there, it's got a place called Pray for Surf. Some say it's Pray for Sex. There's also a point that goes out, and they have a heiau. There was a heiau, then it was not a heiau. They rebuilt the heiau, but it's like a finger that steps out. And it's got a sharp cliff. And Glenn was saying that when he was a kid, of course, they're playing there, they're swimming and stuff, and then they'd go for a walk along the beach, and they'd take the rocks, and they'd skip them along, and you know what kids do, they're playing around, blah, 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 blah. And he's walking along, and he comes to this big rock. It was the size of like a table, and it had this big puka in it, and on top of it, there was a shark-finned rock. And he says, hey, my tutu lady told me about this, huh? Hey, you got the lady, and you got the man, the male, the female. That must be the guy. Picked up the shark's fin rock. He says, I'm going to play a trick on these guys. Now, by the cliff, he puts up the shark fin rock, and he digs into this little alcove, and he takes the rock and puts it inside. We see. Goes off, right? A couple weeks later, skipping rocks, walking by. There's the big stone rock, female. And there's the shark fin stone on top. How'd I get over there? He takes the stone, puts it inside the alcove, and puts stones in it, walls it in. Walks away. Couple weeks later again, stepping. There's the stone, female, male rock. Now, how'd that stone get out from where I went and put him in the wall? Gets the stone, puts it on top of the ledge, is digging inside to make it really deep, huh? And as he's doing, he's reaching in, his hand goes up, he hits that shark-finned male rock, and it falls. 8 pieces, cracked, ruined. Oh, I've done something bad. He says he felt bad. It shouldn't have happened. It was his carelessness. He said he goes up to the rock. Hey, sorry, huh? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to. I was just a careless boy, huh? Hey, forgive me. Okay? He said he looked at the mountains. He could tell where that stone was. He knew the cliff. He knew the whole thing. He lined him up. He walked away. Felt kind of bad. A couple weeks later, came by, same area. Wonder where that... A table-sized rock with a puka in it disappeared. He says to all the teenagers when he's telling us the story, he says, how do you think a stone the size of a table on the edge of the ocean disappears? 15 years later, he tells us he's walking with his sweetheart. They're engaged. They're going to get married. He's showing her the places he grew up. They're walking along the edge of that little finger where the heiau was rebuilt. He's walking along Pokai Bay. Oh, I played here as a child. You know, there was this one time, there was this stone, and he was telling you his betrothed, the story I just told you. He comes to that corner, and there's a table-sized stone with a puka in it. He said the chicken skin starts going up and down his spine, up and down his spine. The tears start welling up. He says, I gotta go. I gotta take, ho. She's like, what? Come. Runs back to the payphone in the parking lot, calls his tutu lady. Tells her the story that I just told you. She says, okay, I take your dad's side, you take your mom's side, you call everybody in the family, you tell them you got to get down to the parking lot. When the sun come up, they got to be there. I'm going to show up. We're going to make this good. We got to make up for this. Tell them they can stay away. Get here tomorrow morning by the time the sun comes up. He says, I called all day. When sun was just beginning to come up, I was in the parking lot. All my cousins started pulling in. Now, he's a big man. He says, I got cousins make me look tiny. He got a couple of his cousins, he said. In the twilight of dawn, he and his two cousins walked down the coast, went to that tabletop rock, the female one I've been telling you about. The three men stood around the stone and tried to pick it up. Couldn't move it. Walk back. Tutu lady comes, 60 of his family is there. She says, get behind me. And she starts her chanting. She starts walking down. She's going, she's talking, she's praying. The chanting's coming out. She gets to the stone. She's crying, Awe, She lays down on the stone. She's rubbing her tears into the stone with her hair. She's lying on the stone. Tears. Even the people in the family who didn't know what she was saying in Hawaiian were weeping. 20 minutes can be a long time. She finally gets up exhausted, wipes her face, turns around to one of the nieces, 8 years old. Oh, dear, help me. Get that stone and come. And the 8-year-old girl walked over and picked up the stone and slowly followed the tutu up the little path to higher ground. True. A story of forgiveness and deep repentance. A story told to Waianae teenagers and one lucky haole boy by Glenn Keela. A story for you to take home.